Welcome to the GYA e-conference panel discussion with theme Higher Education Institutions, Teaching and Research, all in different boats but in the same storm. I'm Roula Inglesi-Lotz, I'm a GYA member and I'm an associate professor in the Department of Economics, University of Pretoria, South Africa. The higher education institutions globally are challenged during the coronavirus pandemic in their everyday operations, while the society overall looks at them to show the way towards future solutions. Academics had to adapt to the new conditions from one day to another to the so-called online learning, which was nothing more than emergency learning from home. Educators had to adapt to this situation fast and acquire skills with regards to distance learning and various technologies. The differences discovered were not only from country to country, but also within the same higher education systems and even within the same institutions. A great majority of the world institutions found difficulties from an organization point of view, but more importantly, from availability of resources for struggling students. Such differences, if not addressed, will only intensify the education and income inequalities and the greater challenge of the digital divide and preparedness towards the fourth industrial revolution and a sustainable future as described by the UN Sustainable Development Goals. While all facing the same storm, the environment and challenges of each geographical region and its higher education institutions vary substantially due to historic, socioeconomic, and political reasons, and as well as the severity of the pandemic in the region. Regardless of similarities and differences in the way the crisis was dealt in various countries, it becomes apparent from the speakers of this session that the time to redesign and recraft the educational approaches of the higher education systems cannot be more appropriate. The call is for a higher education system that is based on kindness, that is inclusive and equitable, and one that prepares learners for the already uncertain future of the job market. The questions we pose to the discussants are: how did higher education institutions in your region, country, deal with the pandemic and the lockdowns? Was there a central decision about turning to online teaching and learning? What were the main challenges during lockdown and how did your country surpass them or still deal with them? How do you think that this global crisis will affect the way higher education institutions operate and how will they ensure successful preparation of students for the future of work? These are the panel discussions of our session. We're going to hear from Prof. Ahmed Bawa, who currently holds the position of CEO of Universities South Africa. Until the end of April 2016, he was Vice Chancellor and Principal of Durban University of Technology in South Africa. And before that, until August 2010, he was a faculty member at Hunter College in the City University of New York, where he was a member of the Department of Physics and Astronomy until August 2010. He has served as the Program Officer for Higher Education in Africa with the Ford Foundation, and during this time, he led and coordinated the Foundation's African Higher Education initiatives. He holds a PhD in Theoretical Physics from the University of Durham in the UK. He has published in the areas of high energy physics, nuclear physics, higher education studies, and in the area of science and society. We will also hear from Professor Alison Flynn. She is an associate professor in the Department of Chemistry and Biomolecular Sciences at the University of Ottawa. She is a 3M National Teaching Fellow, Canada's highest recognition for excellence in post-secondary education. Her research group studies student learning in organic chemistry and evaluates the effectiveness of learning opportunities. Her work includes developing open access online learning tools, curricula, and teaching methods to support student learning. As a UOttawa chair in university teaching, she developed a self-regulated learning, metacognition, resilience, and growth mindset module that can be integrated in courses in any discipline. We will also hear from Prof. Chang Da Wan. He holds a doctorate of philosophy from the University of Oxford and was trained as an economist at the University of Malaya and National University of Singapore. Currently, he is a deputy director at the National Higher Education Research Institute, University Sains Malaysia. His main interest is in higher education policy and has been involved in a number of research and consultancy projects relating to issues of governance and management, strategic planning, access and equity, doctoral education, the academic profession, and internationalization, with a particular focus on developing countries. He has been involved in projects with UNESCO, UNICEF, OECD, Commonwealth, Tertiary Education Facility, Asia-Pacific Higher Education Research Partnership, and others. We will also hear from Prof. Sahim Motala Timur. She's a chemistry-trained higher education professional and quality assurance practitioner. She earned her PhD in chemistry from the University of Mauritius in 2006 and was research active in her field for several years. She also holds an advanced qualification in designing and facilitating e-learning from the Open Polytechnic of New Zealand, as well as postgraduate diploma in sustainable development practices and public policies awarded by Terry University. She works since 2009 at the Tertiary Education Commission in Mauritius and has expertise in regulatory matters, programmatic accreditation, and institutional auditing, policy planning and development in the public and private higher education sectors. She also works as an independent educational consultant for government agencies and serves as an external reviewer for international accreditation agencies. We hope that you enjoy the presentations and you participate actively in the discussions on the theme of higher education systems and the future post-COVID. Thank you and enjoy.